I'm here at Forest of the Orchids. You can find it on Facebook if you want to have a look what they're doing. I'll get a more detailed explanation from Maria, who's her and her husband have been doing this, and they'll tell you all about it. I did start an introduction to this the other day because I'm doing some volunteer work for them here through something called HelpX, and what I've been doing, cleaning leaves up and digging a footpath out for them up the side of the mountain, and then I was doing something to just with the steel work, just to stop it going rusty, giving it a quick paint. So I started my introduction and they're talking away like they stood here, and then it's like you notice the clean patch here? The wind blew the paint over, so for the next hour I'm flapping around like mad, trying to clean all the paint up. Lovely couple and the daughter here, and they've been so welcoming to me, like everyone I've met in Colombia, and they've got two beautiful dogs, which is great for me because I love messing about with the dogs. And then hummingbirds everywhere, and loads of birds, and they do loads with orchids, as the name says, and I'll tell you more about that now. So let's meet one of the dogs. Oh, hello baby. There's the other one, my man. Yeah, he's a big boy, isn't he? See one, take two.
Welcome to First of Orchids. My name is Mara. I'm gonna be explaining what we do here, a little bit of information about us, about this initiative. So let's start with it. First of all, we're a family of four. We came from the capital city of Colombia, that it's called Bogota, and we decided that we wanted to be a little bit more connected to the nature. So what we do is that we decided to buy a place where we can be with it. So my mom fell in love with this place. It's up in the mountains in Tenjo, that it's like an hour away from Bogota. And when we came here, we had a little bit of a shock because this place was so dry. Like you were to be seeing the earth, it was completely dry. It was yellow, there was no grass in it, the trees were completely turned out. So what we did is that we started to make this place a little bit better, a little bit greener. So we planted grass, we planted a lot of fruit trees, and then by chance we got to meet the orchids, which was a present from my mom to my dad on his birthday. She gave him an orchid. So this is where it all started. It was for about 10 years ago that she gave him the orchid, and it was 18 years ago that we bought this place. So what do we do here? We have a lot of things. First of all, we're a center of studying specifically about orchids and Colombian orchids. So we have written a little bit of textbooks, as you may see here. We have different books about Colombian orchids specifically. We also have done a lot of research about them, and we have walked and go through all the country investigating them, their environment, how do they live, if they're up in trees or if they're terrestrial, as you might see before. Orchids comes in different shapes, colors, sizes, even smells. So when we were doing our tours around Colombia, we found one of the proudest things that we have here, that it's an orchid that we call Maxillaria Maria Luisa, that it's the name of my mom, Maria Luisa. So we have a new species, as you might see in this book, which led us to do with the Natural Museum. ¿Cómo se nombra el Museo Nacional de Historia Natural. National Museum, Museo Nacional de Historia Natural. Natural History
Museum.
National Museum of France, where we got to do Mami, ¿cómo tú las dices? I'm so sorry.
Don't worry.
¿Cómo las dices tú? Expedition. Expeditions. We got to do this expedition with some of the biologists that they have back there. And we went behind the steps of Humboldt and Bonpland. So we got to travel all around Colombia, getting to know the species that they were seen by them and how they describe the places. And but in 2018 we went to France to give a little explanation of this in a conference in Paris, exactly. So what we do here is that we like a lot to be taking care of the nature and showing the people that Colombia is a good place and we have so many interesting things in here. For example, one of those is that we have Repestrenar, that it's over here, as you can see in this book. And we have the orchids, and we like to be really on the environmental topic. So we like to take care of these things and people to learn that we have amazing things. We also do bird watching over here. So we have, for example, hummingbirds and different species of birds that we have watched here in the mountains, as you may see in the pamphlets. And also we do guided tours, we do a lot of trekking all around Colombia. So if you want to come with us, if you want to go to a specific place or want to get to know a specific plant, you can tell us and we'll plan this trekking or this expedition for you to get a little bit more information about it. We also like a lot art, so we're supporting a new photographer that is one of the 100 Colombian photographers, as you may see in this book. And we take photos that is specifically in surrealism. So we have two of these photos over here that are photos that are taken here. And the last thing that we do is the reproduction in vitro of orchids. As you may see in here. So what we do is that we have this orchid, the seeds of the orchid, and we plant it into a glass, like this one. We plant all the seeds, and as you can see, the plants start growing up. Later on, we separate them in different glasses until they grow this bigger.
That takes how long?
From
the big one?
This step, from planting the seeds to get the orchid of this side, it takes for about 2 to 3 years. So it's a little bit of long process, but it's really satisfying to see it. After the orchid is this size, what we do is that we take them back to the forest. Since the idea of this is to reproduce orchids or plants that are endangered. We used the Red Book as a guide to know which plants are in danger, and we reproduce them and take it back to the forest. So if you like to visit us, we will be highly happy of having you here. If you want to support us, since this is a private initiative, so all the money that we spend here comes out of our pockets. So if you would like to help us, you can come here. We have donations. You can also have something that we call the stepfather of the orchids. What you do is that you kind of give the plant years of living in the forest. And yeah, just coming here and taking the tours and staying with us, it's a pleasure for us. So you're completely invited and welcome to be here in Colombia and of course the Orchids.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Welcome to Forest of Orchids, our natural reserve where we are working to restore our damaged ecosystem, make educational environment, to preserve endangered orchids and some ecotools. Here you can see some orchids that grow in this place. This is a Dracula. This is a really beautiful, and you can see inside the flower looks like a monkey. Oh, we have here a lot of orchids because we are studying the orchids to preserve them and to reintroduce into the mountains. We are reintroducing into the forest more or less 1,000 orchids, maybe more. There are other orchids, maybe you don't know. This is an orchid. It's really beautiful for us too. It's very, very strange, I say. It's Pastiela tripterantha. This kind of orchids grow in cold climates, more or less more than 2,018 meters above sea level. And there is other orchids too. All of them are orchids, yeah. This is Fernandesia. Fernandesia is an orchid who she habits in the Paramo. Yeah? It's endemic from Colombia and endemic from this area. Maybe you don't know the fruits and the seeds from the orchids. This is an Dracula, this is the fruits, yeah, and this is the seeds. You can see the seeds into my hand are really, really small seeds. Yeah? Then with these seeds, we take the seeds and make in vitro reproduction and spread the seeds too into the forest. It's an orchid too. Almost the. It's a really nice color. It's a really vibrant color. Yeah, it's an orange color. It's Ada aurantiaca. That orchid is really ancient orchids. It's more or less 70 million years ago appears for first time into the nature. The orchids, that kind is the terrestrial orchids. It's like the orchid that you have in Europe, yeah? Because they are roots, very white roots, and the leaves follow, yeah, and disappear, you can say, but really not disappear because then grow again like in spring. We don't have seasons, but the same happen with the orchids in Europe. Okay. This is very similar to the orchids, to the cube in Europe. And not doesn't flowers in this moment, but it's interesting to see the plant. Yeah, this is an orchid too, and maybe when you are walking into the forest, don't recognize this plant like an orchid.
I don't recognize it. I'm so bad. That's why I need this education.
Yeah, this is an orchid too. Yeah, and even the orchids.
So that doesn't look anything like what I think an orchid looks like, especially that one.
Yeah,
that's so different.
Yeah, and some people who love orchids don't recognize this as an orchid. There are really, really different kinds of orchids. This is a miniature size orchids. You can see it has a lot of flowers. An orchid too. Yeah, you see, it's very different. The plant is very different, the flowers, but an orchids too. Here is another Dracula. Look like a face to the monkey too. All the Draculas, you can see a face to the monkey
I see it now. I didn't see it before.
Yeah.
So it's a different one. This smells really nice and also looks beautiful too. So all these orchids here are for reintroduction back into the natural habitat.
Yeah, into the natural habitat. Right here in the orchidiarium, in this space and the other space, we had more or less more than 4,000 orchids. You can see here orchids that, and the only place in the world you can see is here. Yeah? Because are very, very different, because it's are a for botanical study. This is very strange, yeah? You can look.
Looks like
This
a stick.
is the stick. Yeah, and the flowers are in the top to the stick. Then some people say, when my orchids don't flower, yeah, yet that is because the people cut the stick, yeah,
Yep.
because I don't know, is that I can cut, but
okay.
if you cut the stick, in this case from Scapocephalum, you've never seen before the flowers, yeah,
Yeah.
because they are growing here, next here,
Ah,
yeah.
I see. So all those bits, so
Yeah.
probably about half a meter up.
Yeah, then, for example, this, when starting to flowering with the stick was here,
Yep.
growing. I don't know, had 10 years flowering.
Okay. Wow. That's a long time to wait.
Yeah. And this is an orchid too.
Okay.
Yeah. We are really happy when we see that's happened. When the orchids are pollinized. We say she's pregnant. Huh? And where the orchids are pollinized, it means the pollinator, I'm sorry for my English, is here in the area, yeah?
Yep.
Then she's a candidate to be reintroduced into the forest. Yeah. For that, we don't use fungicides, we don't use insecticides, we don't use any chemical product to attend to the pollinate growth to the orchid.
So is this the seed in here as well? Sorry. This here? What's this?
This is the pseudobulbs. They
Okay.
are the bulbs.
Oh, just full for the flower or for the plant?
It's for the plant.
Okay.
It's for the plants. In the bulbs,
Yep.
it is a reserve
it's
to food. Is a reserve to water.
okay.
Yeah. Then I'm not a white lady. I have reserves. Cymbidium is not a Colombian orchids. We are specialized in Colombian orchids, but we are orchids lover. Then I love Cymbidiums too. This is a Cymbidium species. And over here you can see something very interesting plant. This is an orchid. You can see here. We will introduce it here. It's an Cyrtophyllum. Cyrtophyllum, but it's really special because Cyrtophyllum has a long spikes to flower. You can see.
Ah.
You can follow
Okay.
and follow and follow and follow.
I'd expect that. I'd think that's a weed growing that like that.
Yeah, and return and return and return and
So that's about
return.
3 meters.
Yeah.
Maybe longer.
Yeah. It's more or less the Cytophyllum, the spike can take more or less in between 15 and 20 meters.
Wow. Sorry about that.
Yeah. You can see here the flowers of these terrestrial orchids, not open more. Yeah? That is the way when they are really completely open. And here you can see another orchid. It's very interesting. It's another terrestrial. It's Sternorhynchus speciosum. And here you can see different orchids, like this, for example. This is an epidendrum. Yeah, it's a small one. Or this is an oncidium. Or this is a really interesting. This is an lepanthes.
And some sort.
Yeah, and so small and so strange and so exotic. Yeah. Yeah, and that is because if you can see, yeah, the flower is in the back to the leaf. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here are another orchids. It's interesting too. You can see the blossoms. It's, yeah, they born to the leaves too.
Okay.
And this is a really beautiful. It's a Masdevallia. In this area, you can see lepanthes and you can see another miniatures. Like this, for example, had a lot of flowers, and now she's pregnant. He had a lot of fruits and a lot of seeds, and this is great because that means his seeds will be spread into the forest and grow new plants. Another lepanthes. I don't know if you can see the flower. Are really
Really small.
yeah. And lepanthes like this, you can see the plant. Maybe you see, oh, it's, I don't know, maybe dead, but no, is the way to the plant. You can see here are the flowers, and they are growing. And this is a very exotic orchid. Is Porroglossum. You can see the sticks has I don't see small hairs. Yeah, in the leaves too. Yeah, that is for the yeah. And this small hairs is a tap for the clothes.
Yeah.
I forget how to say neblina. I know mist. Yeah, to trap
okay.
it mist. The
Oh, to keep water?
Yeah, to
Okay.
trap it water, but the water for the mist. Yeah. Here are another lepanthes with another really small flower. All of these are miniature orchids. Or this, for example, is another lepanthes, has a lot of flowers, miniature size flowers. And this is a maxillaria. Maxillaria smell really good too. Or this, for example, this kind of Pleurotalis. You see the flower? It's really beautiful. Yeah, it's a deep purple. Yeah? Some people talk about black orchids. Black orchids really don't exist. It's a myth, yeah? Exists that like this. This is a really dark purple. Yeah. This is a Masdevallia coccinea. It's some kind of I don't say albinus, yeah. Okay. I don't say so.
Albino, so
albino.
white.
Yeah, it's albino. Yeah, but this is the color. This is the color, the usual, the regular color for this Masdevallia coccinea.
Yeah. So let's just set that white one's the same as that.
Yeah, this is
okay.
albinus. It's not a variety, it's a genetic malfunction. Really.
Okay.
I don't say really in English.
Yeah, that's understand that.
And this is Masdevallia too. It's Masdevallia coriacea. Or this is Masdevallia too. It's very exotic. I'd say it's strange.
Okay.
Yeah. This is Pleurotalis talpinaria. We bought a plant for this, a really small plants, and then we grow because I don't know, maybe 100 years ago in this forest, these plants was a lot of plants of this, but now are was extinguished in the forest around Tenjo. Then we bought a small plant and grow them and put into the forest, replant into the forest, Look, the flower is really beautiful flower. I love it, the flower too. And last week we go to the forest, to the place one on the place when we replant this orchid and are growing. It's a bigger plant.
Cool.
I'm really happy because she returned to his habitat. Now it's not more extinguished in this area.
Yeah.
And in this pot you can see something interesting too. Yes, grow this orchid too in the same pot. I'm sorry for my English.
Oh, don't worry.
Sorry.
If I had to do it in Spanish, we'd be hello, thank you. That's it.
I hope you can. You can understand me.
No problem at all.
And grow to this orchid. This is an terrestrial orchid, and that's happened because here are the fungi, the mycorrhiza fungi, to help the orchids to grow. Here is something happening. It's just for the hole to the pot, grow the leaves. Here in this area, you can see a nursery. These are growing some orchids to we make in vitro. I'm sorry for my English. Then here are rose. This is a nursery for the orchid for warm temperature.
Open up. Open up. Need to deep breathe, heart and complications. Open up. Need to rebreathe.
It's a really, really special. It's Elsia sanguinolenta. This is Elsia sanguinolenta. It's not easy to see an Elsia sanguinolenta in shows or another place. This is Oncidium. The sticks are very long too. You can see coming down, and then.
And that goes all the way down to here. Is there only one?
Yeah.
Only this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is one. This is one. Yeah. It's a long stick. This is very interesting because we discovered this orchid. This orchid was discovered to my husband in one expeditions, and this orchid was named in my honor. This is the genus is Maxillaria, and the name is Maria Luisa, like me. That is my orchid, Maxillaria Maria Luisa. Yeah, and it's I'm very happy to see that. Here we can see another kind. This is Brasia, and some people say it's spider orchids.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of here. So this Restrepia, for example, is really beautiful too, or the Scapocephalum. And here we can find another miniature orchid. It's really, really beautiful. And it smells really good too. Or this, for example, this is work-made orchids. Or this.
Take that high road and hop in. First impression, you OPN. We should be closer friends.
Yeah, I'm very happy because this is Maxillaria marianensis. Yeah, I'm really happy. Yeah. It's not the. This is Cattleya triane. This is national flower to Colombia.
Oh, okay.
Cattleyas. Cattleyas are really beautiful. We have a lot really because there are maxillarias, or this restricted. But this is a new species, I think, epidendrum. We are studying this because I think it's a new species. Or this is epidendrum too. You can see the flower. It's different, no? Oh, this is spider orchids. And you can smell. Smell really, really good. Now we can go. We are planted and reintroduced into the nature. Yeah? We planted a few years ago. We can see here when we planted, and they are growing. And now you can see it's a really, really beautiful inflorescence. And we planted a lot of orchids like this. I don't know if you can see them.
All these trees you planted as well, didn't you?
Yeah, or this we planted too many years ago, this orchid. And you can see here when they blossom, it was pollinated and had seeds, and the seeds are sprayed into the forest. Then chicken lives now and can reproduce into the forest. They are extinguished here many years ago, then too. Yeah. Or this, for example, you can see this. We have planted really, really lot of orchids. You can see this. This is an Odontoglossum luteopurpureum. It's the Bogota flowers. We replanted here, and well, has an inflorescence and now has fruits. That's mean this kind of Odontoglossum was will be we can find them many, I know, maybe in 5 years we can find Odontoglossum in other trees and into the forest because he's reproduced them. This is an wild orchid. Here we bought some ones and planted, and now we can find more. We can find a lot of them. But here we find others. They are planted and really good. And let me show you.
18 years ago, when they first came here, all they had to work with was this sort of land. They've had to reintroduce topsoil, doing that through different ways, and then enabling to be able to plant the natural habitat back. There's a lot of these trees which aren't natural habitat pines, which they're trying to remove those and then put the natural trees back in. It's been a long, hard process for 18 years for them.
Yeah, these orchids is a lot of them. Yeah, this and this and this and this. This is Gompichis cundinamarcae. We don't planted this. Yeah? The seeds come to here, spread for the wind from the top to the mountain. Yeah,
Yep.
and then can found here an habitat and now are growing, a lot of them. That shows that it's possible. The same happening to the orchids that we are planting. And Odontoglossum crispum. This plant was in blossom recently. You can see it, the flower. Yeah, we reintroduced it in tin. We reintroduced it to this maxillaria, and you can see the plants are really healthy, yeah, and really going into the forest. And this we can replant too.
Open up. Need to deep breathe, heart and complications. Open up. Need to reread our conversation. Got me contemplation over our situation.
Standard is high.
Yeah, the standard's very high.
Nominate anyway.
So,
Be closer than friends. If you OPN, engaging you.
Sí, porque estamos siguiendo es que estamos
Una copia, sí, claro.
Aquí es un trofeo. Sí.
Es un trofeo.
Butterflies, you should open up. I'm trying to put your heart together, found it broken up. Going up smoke.
vino acá y se ha dado cuenta de cómo es de diferente y conociendo a diferentes personas se ha dado cuenta que el concepto es muy diferente a lo que tienen allá. Entonces últimamente está grabando videos y pasándoles los videos a sus amigos para que empiecen a cambiar.
Y en Colombia es una chimba.
Una chimba is like awesome.
No, I like it here. Yes, I was only going to stay for 3 months, but I will probably stay for 4 or 5 months in Colombia.
It's the north.
Yeah, that's my accent is very. But I don't live there. I live in Thailand.
Better.
Yes, nice. Weather's
It's
nice.
better than England. And the gastronomy is so
Yeah,
delicious.
I like the food in Thailand.
Fruits. The same fruits you can find here.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome to Forest of Orchids. My name is Mar, and I'm gonna be explaining a little bit of what we do here. Sorry.